What is going on, guys, and welcome to the channel. Now in this video, I want to break down the greatest financial tool you guys have access to, especially in terms of your retirement, the Roth IRA. Before I even explain what this thing is and how to use it, let me just show you guys why it's so amazing. Let's say that you're 18 years old, and every year until age 65, you save $6,000. You keep it under the mattress, under your bed, somewhere in cash. By the time you turn age 65, you'll end up with $288,000. Not bad. But let's say you were to put that money into a savings account with a high interest rate, would say around 0.50%. By the time you're age 65, with all the money you earned as interest, you'll end up with around $320,000. Better, but you will have to pay taxes on the money you earned as interest. However, if you take that exact same amount of money every year and you put it in your Roth IRA and then diversify in the stock market, by the time you're age 65, you'll end up with a whopping $2.5 million. That's 100% tax-free. And that's after accounting for inflation, which I'll cover in just a minute. Honestly, hearing this out loud sounds pretty crazy and far-fetched, but in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how I got those numbers, how to get started, what a Roth IRA is, terms and conditions, all that good stuff. If that's interesting, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's hop straight into the video. Now, an IRA just stands for individual retirement account, and the Roth part of it means you've already paid FICA taxes on the money going into that account. So when you get a paycheck and you see all the money gets taken out for Social Security, Medicare, those little expenses, those are called FICA taxes. So in a Roth IRA, you're putting money from your paychecks you've already paid those taxes on. Whereas in a traditional IRA, you pay those FICA taxes when you've retired and you're pulling your money out of the account. Now, what makes this account so amazing is all the money you put in grows 100% tax-free. Whereas money you put in a savings account, you'd have to pay taxes on the interest you made. And if you invest in the stock market, you'd have to pay capital gains on the money you made from there. But whatever is in this account grows 100% tax-free. Now, a Roth IRA is simply an account, and the best way to think about it is a bubble. And you can put anything you want inside of this bubble. Stocks, bonds, savings account, ETFs, real estate, whatever is inside that bubble, again, grows tax-free, and the rules are pretty straightforward. You can put $6,000 into the account annually if you're under age 50 and $7,000 annually if you're over age 50. Ideally, the money you put in this account, you should pretend it just disappeared. It's for your retirement, just forget about it once you put it in there. At age 59 and a half, you can withdraw all the money you put in and all the money you've made from that money with zero fees, zero penalties, zero taxes whatsoever. That money is 100% yours. But let's say due to some financial reason, you have to pull money out from the account. You can pull out all the money you put in without paying any taxes, penalties, fees whatsoever. That money is 100% yours. But the money you made from that money, so let's say from interest, from real estate value going up, or from the stock market, you may have to pay taxes, penalties, and fees depending on what that money is used for. Let me give you guys an example. It's probably a lot of information that I'm throwing at you guys. Let's say that you're 25 years old and you invested $4,000 into the account this year. And next year it becomes $4,500 because you put it in the stock market inside your Roth IRA and the stocks went up in value. Now, you can pull out that $4,000 anytime, no questions asked, no fees, penalties, taxes whatsoever. That is your money 100%. But that $500 profit you made from that $4,000, depending on how long it's been in the account for and what you're using the money for when you pull it out, you may have to pay taxes, penalties, fees on that. But again, once you're over age 59 and a half, you can pull out all the money you made and all the money you made from that money. No taxes, fees, penalties whatsoever. Let me give you guys one more example. Let's say you're 37 years old and you've invested $100,000 into your Roth IRA over the past so many years, and that's now become $800,000. Now, let's say you decide I'm gonna pull out $10,000. So you pulled it out from the account, and remember, you'll pay no taxes, fees, penalties on that because you're pulling out the money that you've put in. But then you decide, hey, never mind, let me put this money back into the account. Remember the rules. You can only put $6,000 a year if you're under age 50 and $7,000 a year if you're over age 50. So you can only put $6,000 in that year provided you haven't done so already. You have to put the $4,000 in the next year. So the moral of the story is the money you put into this account, you should be used for your retirement. You shouldn't be pulling it out until you're over age 59 and a half. Now remember that scenario we first talked about in the beginning, turning that $6,000 a year into $2.5 million. Here's how it's possible. Every year you put $6,000 into your Roth IRA, which you diversify in the stock market through index funds. Index funds basically track the overall market's performance. Think of like owning a very small percentage of every stock in the stock market. Now the stock market goes up about 10.5% each year on average. So $6,000 a year, each year is growing 10.5%. After that 45 years, you'll end up with $7.6 million. However, if you account for inflation, which is the rise of the cost of goods every year, which is around 3%. That's why 80 years ago, a cheeseburger costed 50 cents, and now it costs $4 to $5. So if you were to account for inflation, the stock market only goes up 7.5% each year. So the $6,000 a year you put in, growing at 7.5%, over that 45 years, and by the time you're age 65, you'll end up with $2.5 million. That's 100% tax-free. Now, I mentioned before you can put anything into your Roth IRA. So instead of investing in index fund, you could just buy individual stocks like Apple or Tesla. However, I'd recommend you guys invest in index funds because that's the safest bet with the highest amount of returns. You don't want to take risks with your retirement. Now, on top of all of that, there are two additional benefits to the Roth IRA. And the first one is that you're not required to make minimum distributions at any time. So basically with a traditional IRA and a 401k, you have to take out minimum payments at age 70.5, I believe, somewhere around that. With a Roth IRA, you're not forced to take money out of that account at any time. It's whenever you choose to do so. So in the future, if you decide to retire at age 60, age 65, age 75, age 85, you can pull out your money whenever you want. You can't be forced to take it out. Only one drawback to this account is that once you start making over $139,000 a year, which is your adjusted income, limits will get placed on how much money you can put into this account. Well, there is a way around this called a backdoor Roth IRA, but I want to do more research on this before I tell you guys about how to go about doing it. Basically, you guys, opening a Roth IRA is a no-brainer, and your future self will thank you so much. Additionally, the earlier you start, the better, as money compounds faster over time. You can open a Roth IRA at age 18. However, if you're under age 18, you can open one with a parent's or a guardian or a family member's supervision, called a custodial Roth IRA, which I have set up for my sister. And now let me show you guys how to actually go on the internet and set up your Roth IRA, transfer the money in from your bank, invest in index funds, and sit back and become a millionaire. All right, guys, so the first step, if you don't already have a Roth IRA created, is to find an online brokerage that you want to work with. There's dozens of them out there, and they all claim to be the best or better at one thing or the other, but really they're all more or less the same. So go with one perhaps your parents use or ones that your friends recommend you use. I personally opened an account through Charles Schwab because someone recommended it to me, and they were noted to have the best customer service, although I never actually used their customer service. So then once you decide on a brokerage, go to that brokerage's website and then click on open an account. And then select Roth IRA and continue. Now, all these brokerages are going to ask you for the same thing, the typical username, password, email, but then it'll also ask you to upload some photo ID, which is either your social security number or your driver's license or your passport. And that's just to ensure that the account belongs to you. And then once you guys do all that, then you guys can go ahead and log into your account. So here I am inside my brokerage, Charles Schwab. I have a couple accounts here. I'm gonna go ahead and click Roth Contributory IRA, which is my Roth IRA. Now, as you guys see, I have investments. I've invested around $12,000, which was $6,000 every single year for the past 2 years. And then I also have $6,000 in cash. So to put money into this account, you'll just go to transfers and payments. And then you can either you can use a wire, but most everyone uses online transfers. And then you just hit add an external account and then put in your savings or checking account details. And then just say you want to transfer money from that account to your Roth IRA. And it'll also put limits on there, so you can't transfer more than $6,000, so it just won't let you do that. And you can do it for the previous year, because we haven't done taxes on that year yet, depending on what month you're in. and then your current year. So I already put in $6,000 for 2021, and I transferred that took about 2 days to transfer since I sent the request 2 days ago. And then once that money is in your account, which I just showed you guys, it was in mine, then you want to go ahead and actually buy the index funds, which will grow in value and they'll grow tax-free. So go ahead and hit trade, and then enter the index fund that you want to buy. I previously was buying Vanguard's index funds, which track the overall market's performance, but they had a pretty hefty fee. So I'm going to buy Charles Schwab index fund for the overall market, which is SCHB. Yep, Charles Schwab US Broad Market ETF. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and click buy. And how many can I buy? I think I can buy of 70, 68, 65. Looks like I'm able to buy 66 of them to just come under that $5,953. So let's put a market order in for today, and make sure to click reinvest dividends, because that'll just ensure that the money you make from dividends, which are small payments towards you from certain stocks, they get reinvested back into the market. And go ahead and click review order, and the estimated total is this much. So then that's about it, and go ahead and click place order. And then the order's received. It'll take about either a couple of minutes up to an hour or two to go ahead and get verified and get into your account. So here I am now back in my account, and I see that order was successfully done. I see that I have $50 in cash sitting around, which I can't do much with at the moment. But the order was successful, and I know that money will grow. All the dividends will get reinvested back in it, and this is really the path to, become a millionaire. So that's the video. I really hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys have any questions for me, questions about this process, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. I get this is a little bit confusing to some people who are brand new into investing or have never heard of this before. It's no worry about watching this video a couple more times or watching some other videos or reading online. Really do your research. You guys will see this as the best pathway to become a millionaire. And if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to drop me a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next week for the next one.